Every championship campaign has to start with a first step. Where that first step is located varies depending on who you ask. Alabama Huntsville has taken 30 consecutive steps in the right direction. As the 2 seed and rated the 3rd in the nation, many could say they are already well on their way in a national title campaign. From the scary efficient heights of Daniel Saylor to the crafty buckets in the backcourt courtesy of Murr, Burnett, and Campbell, the ingredients are here, and they've been cooking all year long. But a win streak doesn't truly determine a champion until now, and steps become lunges in the NCAA tournament. Not only that, of the 2 coaches on the floor now, it's not Huntsville's who has made it happen before. Link Darner, in this very same region, has made that 6-game run 10 years ago. Now he coaches a Tampa side that snuck into the dance by the skin of their teeth. But with a top 10 offense in the nation, a coach who knows what it takes, and some March gumption, why not the Spartans? If you get an invite, your opportunity is equal to every other squad in the 64-team bracket. Will Alabama Huntsville continue their illustrious win streak, or will Tampa start the one that matters here in March? It's the opening round of the NCAA D2 tournament, and we can't wait to get this one started. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. I am joined by Josh Leatherman on the broadcast. It is the 2 seed Alabama Huntsville Chargers and the 7 seed University of Tampa Spartans. We can't wait to get this one going for you. First off, let's get to our starting lineups. First off, for the 2 seed Chargers, we've got senior guard Luke Burnett, senior guard Tommy Murr, senior guard Dane Harding, senior forward Daniel Saylor, and then graduate guard Blake Campbell. Mick Hedgepeth, it's his first year as the head coach of Alabama Huntsville, and he was able to earn the GSC Coach of the Year honor despite it being his first year in charge. Meanwhile, for the 7 seed Spartans, it is the sophomore guard Trey Lane, the sophomore forward Ian Higdon, the senior guard Brian Williams, the graduate guard Caden Froby, and the senior forward Tyson Leto. They're coached by Link Darner in his 2nd year, leading the way for the Spartans of Tampa. Starting as your officiating crew, Ted Kessler, Owen Ferris, and Will DeValle. Mark Schoenster here. I am your starting play-by-play commentator. Josh Leatherman starting at color commentary. Cynthia Fonseca, the one making sure the graphics and the production side of things, the audio, are all in check and ready to go for this broadcast here on NCAA.com. Josh, we've got some great teams at this bracket in this region. Alabama Huntsville is certainly a top quality side, and Tampa, they've got a lot to brag about too.
Well, these are 2 very polarizing teams. They do it in 2 very different ways. Huntsville, they are the Blazers, and they run at a blazing quick pace. They are a high-octane run-and-gun style of offense. They are 15th in D2 basketball in scoring at 88 points per game, and they're 13th in the country, shooting 38.6% from 3. This type of offense is not uncommon to Tampa, but it has given them fits in the past. But Huntsville offers a very unique twist to this style of fast-paced offense because they are so good at spacing the floor and knocking down shots from beyond the arc. Now, Tampa, on the other side, in typical Spartan fashion, they have their style, and it works for them. They play slow, they get down low, and they grind you down. They are 6th in the country at rebounding. They're 42.5 rebounds per game. They're 5th in the nation in offensive rebounds. They average 16 offensive boards per game. If they can hold their ground, control the pace, and not break that formation that they are known for, they can really stymie this red-hot Blazers offense that's won 30 consecutive ball games.
You mentioned red-hot, blazing Alabama Huntsville, not to be confused with their Gulf South counterparts, the Valdosta State Blazers, both of which are here at the dance this season. Huntsville in the gray and blue uniforms. Meanwhile, it's black and red for Tampa. As you mentioned, 30-1 for the 2-seed Chargers. 30 straight victories. Meanwhile, for Tampa, 20-10 coming into this one, 11-9 in conference play. But records go out the window once it's the big dance. And let's see what what this one has in store for us. Well, the tip-off is won by Alabama Huntsville. But Daniel Saylor swats it all the way out of bounds, so it's Tampa basketball, and then the officiating crew at first pointed it in the wrong direction and then made the correction. So it'll be Spartan ball to start this one. Brian Williams will inbound it. So they're determining where they want to.
Don't we see the most interesting things in March?
Yeah, it's a little awkward start here, but now we're off and running. Williams with the floater, short off the nose, falls into the hands of Blake Campbell. A little bit too heated on that pass from Tommy Mert. So a turnover for the Chargers on their opening possession. So still 0-0 here after 2 offensive spells. Froby checks it to the top. Trey Lane for 3. It's good. Trey Lane with the opening bucket of the game, and it's from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Trey Lane's a real igniter for this offense. He handles it from the point, but he can score just as good as anybody else. Over 300 points this year. Kept pace with Brian Williams and Ryan Blunt.
Had 19 points in the semifinal game against Nova Southeastern in this building. Tommy Merge 3 goes over the backboard. Yeah, he had 19 points off the bench. Also 4 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Getting the starting look here in this one. We're going through that rotational lineup in that game against the Sharks, trying to keep up with their depth. We'll see how much different we get a look from them here in this one. Froby guarded tightly by Campbell. Still Froby, dumps it out to Williams. Lane, another 3, and it won't bounce in for him. Looked pretty good, but not quite on target.
Yeah, a couple of really good looks for a really good shooter. And Trey Lane, if you keep giving him the space, he's going to take advantage of it more often than not.
Burnett, deep 3, too strong. Can't be too surprised, though, when Luke Burnett pulls from distance. He has proven he can hit it from that length, as Brian Williams is fouled. So Daniel Saylor picks up the first foul of this game. A towering figure at 6'11", Daniel Saylor. And he takes advantage of it when he's got the ball in his hands. First free throw good, though, for Brian Williams. Leads the team with 16 points per game. Goes 1 of 2 there. Campbell, guarded tightly by Higdon. No, the intensity is going to be here. Opening round of the dance. Burnett, deep 3. No good again. Lane. Back to Williams. Nutmegs Campbell. Now Lato has the ball. Lato goes in himself. Can't get it to drop. Only field goal made in this game so far is a 3. And Trey Lane has the steal. He'll be looking for a second bucket, and he's got it.
This is where things have got to really tighten up for Huntsville. This is always a concern for a team that is so reliant on a 3-ball. How does the shooting translate into an unfamiliar environment? And now they're trying to get going while Tampa knows this building.
Yeah.
They know how to shoot here. They can handle the pace. And all of a sudden, they're starting to get going themselves. This is not like what we saw Florida Southern do at the start of that game, where it took them 4 or 5 minutes to get their footing against an unfamiliar team. Now Tampa handling everything they need to right now and giving Huntsville fits.
That one will twirl in. The first field goal of the game for Alabama Huntsville. Blake Campbell averages 16 points per game. He gets things going for the Chargers. And this Tampa team has already played in this building twice this year, including just a week ago. Lato gets the board, floats it back out. Williams in the baseline. Floater won't go. Luke Burnett now. Ball slips behind his back, but he retains possession. Saylor inside. Back out to Campbell. Thought about the 3. And he's fouled, I believe, by Tyson Lato. So Tyson Leto gets his first foul. Matt Thurman and Austin Leslie checking into the game for Mick Hedgepeth's side.
It seems that Alabama Huntsville is going to go a little smaller here. Like Dane Harding might be the tallest guy on the court right now. So they're going to try and undersize Tampa right now, but maybe create some speed and put Leto in a really tough spot.
Murr shifts to the left, it shoots, won't go in for him. That's a player that'll be looking to find his rhythm in this one. Tommy Murr averaging 21 points per game. Has the highest scoring output of either of these teams here and one of the highest in the conference, not in the conference, in the region.
Yeah, he's one of 3 guys on this team that's attempted over 100 threes this year, and he's shooting 43% from beyond the arc. So you've got to put a hand in his face, maybe 2 of them, and just commit to slowing him down.
Burnett, another 3 for him, and it won't fall through for him again. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc for Burnett.
Ice cold shooting the basketball. 0 of 4 from beyond the arc with a couple of turnovers, too.
And with that, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, the Chargers, you can't just rely on threes. This is something that I am very used to seeing a team just rely on shooting more threes than anybody else all the time, especially when I watch the NBA game. But they have got to create from inside the arc if they're going to keep pace with Tampa, because Tampa's going to grind you down. They're going to keep it slow, and if they're scoring while you're just missing threes, you're not going to be able to put up points against this Tampa squad.
6-2 your scoreline after 4 minutes. The NCAA sponsors 90 national championships in 24 sports across 3 divisions each year. We cheer for the nearly 500,000 student athletes in the game and in the classroom. For more information or to find a championship near you, visit ncaa.com. The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, along with our corporate partners, Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick, Geico, Great Clips, Home Depot, Intuit TurboTax, Invesco QQQ, LG, Marriott, Nissan, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Ritz, Samsung Galaxy, Unilever, and Wendy's. Their support enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. So these teams average 88 points per game and 89 points per game. We have 8 points in the first 4 minutes of action. Some of the March jitters here for these two sides. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here. We'll be with you along for the ride. Game 2 of 4 today at the Rick Case Arena. Florida Southern victorious in the first one against Montevallo. This is similarly a Gulf South Sunshine State Conference clash. Blunt checks over to the right. Froby bounces it to his left-hand side. Amarian Nimmers passing it in for Leto. His effort's no good. Wanted the foul, not going to get it.
Yeah, getting real physical with Leto. Probably a recipe for success on the inside. He's frustrated, but you know, with March basketball, you're not going to get the same whistle you got earlier on in the season.
Thurman for 3. It's good. Matt Thurman cancels their shooting woes.
Just find the mark. All you got to do, it's a big blue wall, the backdrop for the shooters here at the Rick Case Arena, but once you find your mark, you're good to go.
Nimmers up top to Froby. Actually, that's Ryan Blunt. Nimmers for 3. No good off the right-hand side. Leto gets the board. He's known to do that, and he is fouled by Austin Leslie, who went airborne to try and stop it. Nearly got a piggyback ride there.
I mean, Leto is a monster. Once the ball goes up, he hunts. That's when he goes on the attack. Is that rebound? He's a putback maestro. He's really, really good inside that restricted area. It should be the matchup to watch in this ball game is Leto for Tampa, and then on the other side, you've got the block machine in Daniel Saylor. They should battle for basically 30 minutes, and they might have to play more than that with just the way that this game rolls out, but that is one of the more exciting big men matchups that you can find this late in the season.
Leto looking for his first bucket. That one will fall through for him, 1 of 2 from the line. Tampa with the 7-5 lead early on in this one through the first 5 minutes. Campbell back over. Thurman for 3 again. Too strong. There's going to be a foul called, I believe, on Blunt, trying to best Daniel Saylor there. So you talk about these two guys in the paint. Leto averaging 11 rebounds a game, which is 10th in the country. Not too far behind Daniel Saylor at 9.6 rebounds a game. And Leto will now take his lead for a moment. And so, well, nope, actually Saylor's over there in the corner. So after Leto had a moment without Saylor on the floor, Saylor gets it the other way.
And then you talk about defensively, those two big guys. Leto, 30 blocks this year, and yet that number is dwarfed by Daniel Saylor, 79 this season. You turn away 79 shots, you should be highlighted, no doubt.
Blake Campbell makes a play there to tie the game up at 7. Froby checks to the right for Blunt. Blunt to the corner for Froby. He's guarded by Murr. Blunt takes a long 3. Got it. The freshman Ryan Blunt getting his first tournament bucket.
Yeah, on the newly fixed rim, too. Worried that it might have been a little too tight. Seems good to go for a bucket getter.
Murr slings it over. Nice touch pass inside. And then Austin Leslie doing well there in traffic. Cole Gingileski checks it to Froby. Gingileski again. Takes the handoff. Blunt. Charity stripe jumper. No good. Remains a 1-point lead for the Spartans. Tommy Murr goes to his right. Murr looking for his first bucket, and he's got it.
4 for 4 from the interior are the Chargers. Now it's, work inside, then get outside. Don't try and shoot yourself into a rhythm.
Gingileski denied by Saylor. That's 2 tall men going after each other. And you talk about turning the ball away. Now 80 blocks on the year for Saylor. Campbell, nicely done off the glass. Lane pitches it back. Froby driving inside. Nice dish, but Gingileski wasn't ready for it. Turns the ball over. So Brian Williams going to sub in for Trey Lane. It's been a 6-0 run over the last minute for Alabama Huntsville.
Yeah, but you get short bursts out of Saylor, and it keeps him fresh and ready to go to give you everything he's got on the defensive end.
Campbell swerving around. Has that one knocked free. Trying to extend this run here, the Chargers. Kyler Lamb subs in for Gingileski. So Tampa really going to dig into their bench in this one. Rotate numbers. They got a pretty deep roster. Campbell gets by Williams. Blake Campbell, he's fouled. You always wonder about that when it comes to a team, how deep they're going to go, because you could go a whole season where you're rotating through a lot of players, and then you get to tournament time, and sometimes that bench gets a little bit thinner, and you don't keep digging in that deep and relying on some of those guys who have that less experience. But so far, Link Darner showing confidence in his crew all the way down the line.
I mean, this time of the year, the rotations get a lot tighter. The leash that you may have given a guy if he makes a couple of mistakes in a row, that might shrink to being non-existent. Turnovers become extremely magnified in a situation like this. Missed shots can't keep piling up. Well, both coaches who know their teams very, very well. These two teams have very strong identities. Play into themselves outside of the Chargers not being able to knock down the 3.
Hefty collision between Harding and Nimmers. That'll be Amarion Nimmers' first foul. That's a 5th for Tampa. 12 minutes to go in this one, in the first half, that is. 8-0 run for the Chargers. Campbell shifts to his left, and it's given into the hands of Williams. Blunt on the other end of the floor. Can't get it to drop, but the putback is good. Kyler Lamb gets 2. That snaps the 8-0 run. Harding. Met by Lamb, hands it off to Burnett. Luke Burnett. Hasn't been able to get going in this one yet. Still with it, Luke Burnett blocked by Lamb. The freshman getting in on that one. And we hit the under 12 timeout. Alabama Huntsville have taken the advantage, 15-12 your scoreline. The NCAA thanks official equipment suppliers, Connor Sports, Fiskars, Hilliard, Smitty Officials Apparel, Spalding, Spec Seats, and Wilson Sporting Goods for their support of NCAA championships. Their contributions help enhance the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. We'll be back after this break.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Let's talk about Alabama Huntsville here for a moment. 30-1, they have won 30 straight games. Clean sweep of the Gulf South Conference, 25-0. Then go into the conference tournament, knock off Lee, Delta State, and Valdosta State. And then they're here now. Their lone loss on the season, opening game against the Nova Southeastern University Sharks, who are the 1 seed in this region, hosting privileges. Just about any other region in the entirety of Division II, Alabama Huntsville would be hosting. They just so happen to be stuck with the Sharks here. That doesn't change the fact that they're going to come into this one brimming with confidence, thinking that they can take on anybody in this tournament. Murr. A little feint there. Ends up just popping it to Saylor. Campbell with 7 on the shot clock to Harding. 5 seconds. Campbell goes to his right. Rips it across. Murr doesn't get it off in time. Some situation awareness lacking there for Alabama Huntsville. At least they weren't quick enough to recognize the situation. That'll be Brian Williams. Will float it up. Did everything but go in for him. 3-point lead for the Chargers. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on NCAA.com stream of the Division II Men's Basketball Championship. Murr, good for 2.
They stay incredibly efficient from inside the arc as well. Alabama Huntsville, known for their three-point shooting, hasn't been there. Didn't abandon it, but they've moved inside the arc, and it's been to great success.
Harding fought for that rebound. Lands on the baseline. It'll be Huntsville basketball.
Look at the Chargers at 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. They're 6 of 7 from inside it. They're out-rebounding Tampa. They're +4 in that category. They're pretty much flipping what Tampa does right onto them, and Tampa has no answer for it.
Campbell from the right wing, guarded by Lamb. Up to Dane Harding. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Campbell to Burnett. They'll drive inside. He's not afraid to shoot it. It's another shot clock violation. They're trying to find Tommy Murr too late in the shot clock. And Tampa celebrates. Now can they find something on the other end? Those clocks just ticking a little bit too slow in the heads of these Chargers. Williams with a twist. Checks it to his right for Lane. And it back to him. Lane, jumper, good. That's a guy I'm trying to get the ball into his hands. Trey Lane has 7 points.
Yeah, Alabama Huntsville's bench a little upset with the no call on the screen there. Looked like a shoulder might have got high, but again, you're going to create space here any way you can, and the referees will let these guys be physical if that's the tone you set.
A steal for the Chargers after the Murr bucket. Burnett floats it up, blocked, but Daniel Saylor cleans it up. So a timeout is called. 21-14 your score line. We're going to keep it right here. Just a 30-second timeout between these two sides. The 2-seed Chargers up by 7 here. Tommy Murr getting another bucket, which puts him at 6 points. You're watching game 2 of 4 here in the South Region opening round. The first game, Florida Southern victorious over Montevallo. After this one, Nova Southeastern, the hosts, will take on Savannah State. And then the nightcap, which seating-wise is projected to be the closest game, Valdosta State versus Lynn, which should be a very exciting affair to close out things here at the Rick Case Arena in day 1. And then we do it all again tomorrow. 2 more games, the semifinals. Always some peak drama in the South Region semifinals. These past few years, been some great games every single season. Williams, guarded by Murr, goes to his left. Step back, long 2 is good. Brian Williams with his first field goal.
Don't tell Brian Williams that the mid-range jumper is out of style anymore. He can score from just about anywhere. He's got a really comfortable stroke from the mid-range jumper spot.
Thurman for 3. Clean.
Big-time extra pass right there. Good dribble. Passed it up twice. The three-pointer.
Yeah, Luke Burnett was thinking about it, but he was the wiser. Tyson Leto from 3 off the right-hand side. 35% three-point shooter, Leto, so although he's that big bruiser in the paint, he can take it from beyond the arc every now and then. Just a symptom of the modern game. Saylor misses the dunk. Not sure how often that occurs. Lane, his floater well off target. Thurman brings it down. Yeah, just to put into perspective, Daniel Saylor has the best field goal percentage in the nation. 74% of his shots go through. So for him to miss a dunk, that's a rare occurrence.
I mean, he's probably close to 90%, maybe 95% on dunks this season. So everybody misses one, but those are usually gimmies for Huntsville that they probably wish they could have back.
Brian Williams goes to the floor. And it'll be a foul on Alabama Huntsville.
I have never seen Tyson Leto plead in his career at Tampa, but he was begging for the referees to talk about that call a little bit. I think he was convinced that call was going to be going against him.
Yeah, Tyson Leto was assigned the foul, but it was definitely Matt Thurman because it's still Tampa basketball. It'll be Thurman's first foul. And now the refs are going to go over to the replay booth to take a peek at this one. So let's watch it. We got it right here. Froby has the basketball at the point here as they're looking. So Thurman does knock over Brian Williams. It doesn't really look like he juts out an elbow or anything. So if they're looking to see if this is more serious than a common foul, I don't think there's much there for it.
Nah, I think he might have just had his arms swinging natural motion, and it might have just caught Williams and floored him. But man, good thing we've got the replay set up, and I know it may slow down the game, and fans don't necessarily like the replay taking as much time as it might on occasion, but I feel like every fan would rather the call be made correctly than it be incorrect and we just keep playing basketball, especially in a game like this.
Lane Swerving in, checks it out. Froby with a twist, now feeds it inside. Higdon's effort's no good. Now Lane for three, high arcing shot off the right-hand side. Higdon with the board. Pulled it back out, Williams. It's Lane, long possession for Tampa here. Froby hits the brakes, back out. Higdon to Williams. 6 on the shot clock. Williams takes the shot, won't go through, and Saylor gets the board. So a long possession, ends up empty-handed.
There was 2 times on that possession for Tampa. They had a guy getting ready to drive to the basket, and it just took a half a step from Saylor to stop that from happening.
Brian Williams, too much juice on that one. Had the steal, couldn't put it away. Here's Graham Martin. First looks in this game. Saylor, he'll put this one away.
He'll make sure he throws that one right through the netting.
Had 2 hands for safety. Froby had it knocked loose. Still Tampa ball.
What's scary right now, if you're on the Tampa side of things, is that Alabama-Huntsville continues to pull away here. They're holding the Spartans without scoring, and they haven't even found their rhythm from deep yet. Things can spiral pretty quickly, and the Chargers know it. Good time for a timeout.
The NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes through educational opportunities, enhancing mental health services, guaranteeing scholarships and tuition, and expanding access to health care. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more. Did you know more than 500,000 student athletes compete in NCAA championships at more than 800 sites across the country each year? Share the experience and excitement of another NCAA championship coming to a city near you. To witness the top teams in the nation compete for a national championship, visit ncaa.com/tickets and make a date with champions. Let's tell the story of this Tampa team. 20-10, got knocked out by Noah Southeastern in the semifinal game in the SSC tournament, but at that point, they had done just enough. Going into the tournament, they were behind Trevecca Nazarene for that final spot in the South region. Trevecca Nazarene was bounced in the first round. Tampa got a big win against Embry-Riddle, and that was enough for them to just sneak into the tournament. And now a 3-ball knockdown here by Ryan Blunt. They're going to try and take advantage of the chance that's been afforded to them. And boy, do they have a tough challenge, though. Alabama-Huntsville, high-quality side. Tommy Murr floats it up, uses the bank there nicely. Blunt, back up top to Leto. Kicks it over to Froby. Now it's Leto again. Wind up 3. Won't bounce in. Nice board from Nimmers. And it's going to be tough for him to get by Daniel Saylor. Tip drill. Leto has it. Tyson Leto. He's fouled. So that is going to be on, I believe, Daniel Saylor. That'll be his second. So Tyson Leto will go to the free throw line. Just 1 point in this one. Has 5 rebounds. Him and Daniel Saylor at 2 fouls each. Leto from Chicago. Swishes the first one down. 2 points in this one. Had 7 rebounds against Noah Southeastern in that semifinal game in this very building. Also only 4 points, which was tied for his lowest of the season. So was held in check in that game. We'll be looking to have a better offensive outing in this one. Murr receives the inbound from Thurman. Talking about masterful mustachioed men in this game. Murr, or in this region, I should say, and Murr probably headlines that group.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some guys who are growing out some playoff stashes this go-round. March turned around, and these guys want to let it rip.
Burnett finally getting on the three-point field goal side of things. Last offensive possession for the Chargers. Murr. Step back three. Won't go. Trey Lane down the floor. Still with it. Kicks it out to Blunt. Lane goes to his left with a turn. Kicks it over the right-hand side. Blunt corner three. It's good. Twirls in for Ryan Blunt. 9 points in the first half for him.
Tampa has matched Alabama Huntsville from beyond the arc.
Well, they're going to have to keep up because Matt Thurman has just knocked down a three.
Both teams 4 of 11 from distance, which that's not really Tampa's strong suit, but if they can keep pace with Alabama Huntsville, it should lead to some better things on offense.
As it goes in March Madness, you can live and die by the three. Campbell back up to Thurman. He'll take another. And maybe a bit of a heat check from him. Up to that point, Thurman was 3 of 4. Nimmers with 20 on the shot clock. Cash. Amarian Nimmers with his first bucket.
Hey, if it's there, you have to take it. You cannot afford to pass up good shots, even if it's not necessarily your strength. You're going to leave a guy open. You've got to be willing to live with the results, and that time it goes against Alabama Huntsville.
His hesitancy may be led to believe it's not one of his spots, but he is a 37% three-point shooter. Talking about Amarian Nimmers.
I mean, some guys are just shocked to be as open as they are. You know, you're not closing out on me, okay?
Harding. Feeding Thurman. Under 4 minutes to go in the half. A twist from Campbell. Along the baseline he goes. Now he rises and scores. Blake Campbell. Good first half. He's got 8 points. So a foul on Alabama Huntsville will mean we hit the under 4. The Chargers leading 36-27. Tell the world you're here. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite NCAA sports. For more information, visit ncaa.com/social. We are being inundated with sports betting. Everyone from your friends and family to your classmates is getting in on it. Ads are hard to ignore, and social media is flooded with constant harassment. In fact, 1 in 3 student athletes have experienced betting-related harassment. Help the NCAA draw the line and visit ncaa.org/drawtheline.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
.325 to go here in the first half of action between Alabama Huntsville and Tampa. The opening round of the NCAA D2 Men's Basketball Championship. Higdon receives the inbound. Connects with Blunt. Ryan Blunt, charity stripe jumper no good. Gets his own shot. Putback's no good. Got to put those away if you're the Spartans.
Yeah, second chance points have been hard to come by for both teams, so you get an opportunity for them, and then you just cough it up without much going against you.
Ball's loose on the floor. Leslie across the timeline to his left. Thurman for three. Oh, that's a huge one. A disjointed possession results in a triple.
Yeah, they haven't got much from one of their best three-point shooters, and they're getting plenty from Thurman.
44% from beyond the arc on the season. Matt Thurman, red hot in this one, 4 of 6. 14 points for Thurman in the first half. He averages 9.8 per game. So the hoop looking pretty big for him here in the first half.
What's crazy is Luke Burnett and Tommy Murr are combined 1 for 7 from 3. So big thanks to Thurman for keeping them in this ball game from beyond the arc.
Campbell fouled by Tampa. That'll be on Higdon. That's his first foul. Both teams at 6 fouls with 2.5 minutes to go. Floating it. Thurman feeds it back inside, and Campbell has 2 more. That puts him in double figures. And a turnover forced by the Chargers. Once again, just jumping on passes when they see the opportunity. That's a 7th for Tampa. Both teams with 7 turnovers total. 7-0 run over the last minute 15 for Alabama Huntsville. Looking to really stick it to the Spartans here at the closing stages of this first half. Murr up against Blunt. Goes to his left, kicks it to the corner. Campbell for 3. Another 3, knocked down. It may not be the most usual of suspects, but Blake Campbell and Matt Thurman, both reliable from beyond the arc, have stepped in absence of Murr and Burnett.
That's what March is all about, right? Somebody doesn't have a great game. That's how the deep teams keep pushing deeper into March. This is a well-proven group for the Chargers, and one guy's not having a good night, but another guy is, so all of a sudden he's the one getting fed, and there's no issues with it.
Leto turns, feels some contact, floats it up, no good. It's a mess underneath the rim. We'll wait to disseminate who fouled who. So they're going to call that one on Thurman. That'll be his second. And going to the line is Ryan Blunt. Looked like Brian Williams was the one who went down the hardest. Oh, so now it is Brian Williams who will go to the free throw line.
I got to say, I think it's pretty incredible how good of a job that the collective of Alabama Huntsville has done at limiting Tyson Leto. He hasn't made a shot, and it's not just been the big shot blocker for this team and Daniel Saylor. It's been a group. They've put up a wall around him when he's gotten his back to the basket, and there's just nowhere for him to go. It might be time for Leto to just commit to being a board grabber and a defender right now, even though he's got some fouls against him. The shots just aren't falling right now for him.
Murr takes it across the 10-second line. He'll go to his right. Murr driving in. Nice feed. Now to the corner. Campbell hitting the head. Play goes on. Murr for 3. Won't fall. Campbell keeps it in. Back out to Murr. 15 on the shot clock. Murr resets himself. Tommy Murr all the way himself. And it won't fall, but he's got 2 free throws. I tell you what, Tommy Murr, when he drives to the cup, he is not scared of how he's going to have to twist his body around to try to put it against the rim.
Oh, he's fearless, and he knows that he can score from in there as well. And again, he's a capitalizer just like Jaden Booth. If you're
Tom, 94% from the charity stripe. One of the best in the nation in that regard. You talked about Jaden Booth being another one. He's taken 100 and now 50 field goal attempts with that one. And that puts him into double figures here. Despite being 0 of 4 from 3, he's got 10 points. Lane crosses the timeline. Trey Lane sends it to his right, and it slips through the hands of Higdon. And some frustration there, blasting the ball against the wall. (46-29), just over a minute to go in the first half. Alabama Huntsville trailed early in this one, but they have since then taken the reins. Tommy Murr receives the inbound. We're now counting seconds here in the first half. Murr going to his left. Slings it to the left-hand side. Harding. Looks like he stepped out of bounds. No, he traveled. Same end result.
Yeah, it's more of a technicality there, the travel over the stepping out of bounds. But I got to say, this has been one of the most impressive sets of 20 minutes that we've seen this year. Tampa looks flustered. They don't really have much of a rhythm on offense or defense, and it's a very good defensive group. But Huntsville just grinded away trying to find their three-point shot, and they have owned the interior and the glass.
Another turnover, 9th of the half for the Spartans. They average 13 turnovers per game, so well ahead in that category. Timeout called. Mick Hedgepeth deciding to corral his team to try to figure out what the itinerary is for these final 37 seconds. He's the 10th head coach, by the way, Mick Hedgepeth, in program history, coming over from Berry College, a D3 school that he coached to a 44-14 record while he was there. Also as a player himself, and quite the player at Belmont, won 96 games, earned 3 conference titles during his time there in North Carolina. 37 seconds left. Actually, I could correct myself. Belmont University is in Nashville, Tennessee. I was thinking of Belmont, North Carolina in my head. Murr crossing the 10-second line. Over to the right-hand side for Thurman. Right along that timeline, Murr checks it. It's Thurman. Got to go somewhere with it. 9 on the shot clock. Harding feeds it inside, and Tommy Murr off the glass gets it to go.
Just extremely unselfish basketball from the Chargers. They're willing to dish more than they want to score.
Blunt knocks down the 3 at the buzzer. Maybe a spurt of life there for Tampa going into the break. Ryan Blunt drains the triple, putting him at 12 points, a perfect 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. They're going to check this to make sure he got it off in time, but I'm fairly confident he did.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he didn't. I thought he actually got it off with some pretty good wiggle room. I think he got it off with almost a full second left on the clock.
This will be the view. Oh, easy. Oh, so easy. Didn't take the refs long to confirm that one. 16-point ball game. 48-32, your scoreline going into the break. Do you plan to play college sports? Visit ncaa.org/play college sports to learn more about NCAA eligibility requirements. The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola. And our corporate partners, Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick, Geico, Great Clips, Home Depot, Intuit TurboTax, Invesco QQQ, LG, Marriott, Nissan, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Ritz, Samsung Galaxy, Unilever, and Wendy's. Their support enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. We'll be back in a little bit. Your halftime score, 48-32.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
We welcome you back here on NCAA.com stream of this first round game between the number 2 seed University of Alabama and Huntsville Chargers and the 7 seed University of Tampa Spartans. My name is Mark Schoenster. I am joined by Josh Leatherman here on the broadcast. 48-32 after 20 minutes. About 3 minutes away from getting this one going here in the second half. Josh, looking at some of these numbers, although it was a big 3 hit by Ryan Blunt to cut this to 16 going into the break, there's still quite a large disparity between these two sides. Where are you looking in particular that has earned Alabama-Huntsville this advantage?
Well, I think it's 2 things for Alabama-Huntsville right now. Number 1, they have completely dominated the defensive rebounding in this game. They're closing out possessions. They're +8 in defensive rebounds over the Tampa Spartans. The second thing is the points in the paint. Tampa primarily has been a team that can control the interior. They may be a little bit more susceptible to getting beat over the top with 3-pointers. Some rotations are a little late. Today, it's been completely different. 26 of the 48 points for the Chargers have come from the interior. It's way too much for Tampa to sustain because there's no way this Alabama-Huntsville squad will shoot sub 40% very often over a 20-minute period, and that's exactly what they did in the first half.
Alabama-Huntsville, 26 points in the paint to Tampa's 4. Another big thing, the field goal percentage in general. Alabama-Huntsville, 59% to Tampa's 29%. And that's going to result in the difference that you see in this game. And you talked about this Alabama-Huntsville team, 39% from beyond the arc in the season, but a very efficient team in general, 4th in the country at 52% from the field. So they'll be looking to have another efficient half here to close this one out. The winner of this game plays Florida Southern tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to seeing how this one closes out. Also have 2 more games later today. The Sharks playing Savannah State. And then to close off the day, it'll be Lynn and Valdosta State. And that one will be a very interesting clash of styles there. Lynn, a team that's trigger happy from beyond the arc. Valdosta State, they love their steals. They love their fast break points. They love their pace. Something Lynn is familiar with, having played in the Sunshine State Conference where there's quite a few teams that are like that. But Valdosta, one of the best in the nation at pushing that tempo. So, 48-32. 30 seconds before we get this one going here. Will Alabama-Huntsville cruise through this second 20? Or do Tampa have some bite left in them to claw back into this one? Let's find out together here. Meanwhile, looking around across the bracket to see if we've got any fun upsets to report to you. So far, looks like things are pretty on schedule for his teams with higher seeds. Mentioned earlier, Assumption, the 6th seed, getting a win over Southern New Hampshire. Very comfortably, by the way. Well, Columbus State and Carson Newman, a 1-versus-8 game. Still in the first half, but Carson Newman, the 8th seed, up right now 17, now 19-12. So if that one proves interesting here down the stretch in this game, we'll be sure to notify you. Huntsville will get the basketball. They have the lead. And we are back into the fray of things here from the Rick Case Arena of Game 2 in the 4-game quarterfinals in the South region. Saylor turns, flips it up, won't roll in for him. Second time is good and 1. So ultimately, it ended up being better for him that the first one didn't roll in.
Second time, too, that we've seen Saylor miss a gimme for his capabilities inside at finishing. Clanked a dunk earlier, now the layup rolls out, but you cash in a 3-point play, and again, the Chargers just continue to roll right on through this game. Tampa having a tough time getting the tires started right now.
And what may be even more important than that extra point is the fact that Tyson Leto is picking up his 3rd foul. And who is going to match up with Daniel Saylor if Tyson Leto has to see the bench at all? They got Cole Gingileski on the bench, but he doesn't get a ton of minutes per game, so maybe a tall ask, literally and figuratively, for the sophomore. Lane's floater bounces in. Murr had 12 points in the first half, faced by Trey Lane. Goes to his right. Still Tommy Murr. Along the baseline he goes. Feeds Saylor, hands it right back to him. Murr bouncing it inside. Campbell does well, patiently waits to pull the trigger.
And Trey Lane just got floored by a massive Daniel Saylor screen. Looking for some type of foul call. The referee's like, dude, you ran straight into his midsection. There's not really much we can do, but how big and strong Saylor is disrupting a lot of the things that the Spartans want to do.
Yeah, just a 10-inch difference between Daniel Saylor and Trey Lane. And that's not just in height, but also just a bigger dude in general. Here's a 3-ball. Short for Froby. Tyson Lado, offensive board. Williams for 3. Off the nose. Rebound for Ian Higdon, and he's got 2. That's his first bucket. Blake Campbell will usher over to his left. Burnett. A little bit of trouble here. Now it's Campbell. Goes to his left. Step back 3. Nice. Blake Campbell knocking down the triple. He's got 18 points.
That was such a casual step back from Campbell, too. It wasn't, you usually see guys try to snap back and create that wow movement. He just pulled the ball back behind him and stepped into a nice 3.
Nonchalant bucket for Blake Campbell as Tyson Lado gets his first field goal of the game. Now it's 5 points. Murr thought about the 3. Leaves it for Campbell. Couldn't have blamed Campbell if he decided to flip that one up, but he's wiser than that. Tommy Murr goes to the free throw line now. So a foul on Ian Higdon, his second. Tommy Murr will go to the charity stripe where he has attempted now exactly 150 free throws this season. Not many players in all of Division II can say they've attempted this many. You talked about it in the first half, and that's not frequent that he does that. 94% from the stripe. You talked about it, though. I mean, he's a 6'1" guard. 6'1". Zero fear going into the paint. And he gets bludgeoned around when he goes in the paint, too. He gets bumped, knocked, turned. It does not deter him one bit. Froby. Lane. Amongst gray jerseys, he's composed.
Yeah, a little surprised there that Saylor's not a touch more aggressive trying to turn away a shot. He's got some wiggle room to work with. Just the 2 fouls, not much concern with the way that he's been subbed in and out of this game. There's been more short spurts for him.
Campbell, oh so nice, 20 points.
He looks unstoppable on the offensive end right now.
Williams brings that one in. Williams gets tripped. That'll be a foul on Thurman. I believe that's his third. It will be a third on Thurman.
And shooting 62% from the field in this game. And that's with Luke Burnett shooting just 1 of 6, 1 of 4 from 3 in 20 minutes. I mean, it wasn't the typical start that Alabama Huntsville gets off to, but they have found their rhythm, and they just do what they continue to do. They space the floor. They create a lot of good opportunities for themselves, good clean looks, whether it's inside or out, and they score very consistently.
That's just a careless pass. Campbell gives it back to Tampa. Froby out to Blunt. Froby once more. Dumps it off. Lane. Cannot get by Thurman. Splits it inside, and Tyson Lato with the 2-hand jam. They need something to kickstart a run here. They're down 15. That's a way to get it going, though. Thurman hands it off. 15 on the shot clock. Is something cooking here for the Spartans? Could have been for a moment. And now a blocking foul called on Trey Lane. And we'll hit our first timeout here of the second half. Alabama Huntsville up 59-44. The NCAA thanks official equipment suppliers, Connor Sports, Fiskars, Hilliard, Smitty Officials Apparel, Spalding, Spec Seats, and Wilson Sporting Goods for their support of NCAA championships. Their contributions help enhance the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. The NCAA recognizes the importance of officiating on the student-athlete experience and is dedicated to the recruitment and retention of new officials for all sports. Say yes to officiating. Visit ncaa.org/sayyes-to-officiating for more information on how to get started. Probably the (59-44) here, coming out of the under 16. Alabama Huntsville with the advantage, and the basketball. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman, Cynthia Fonseca managing the broadcast here for you on the NCAA.com. Murr, unsuccessful, falls right back to him. Bouncing it back out. Thurman prods inside. Leslie. Back out to Thurman. 10 on the shot clock. Leslie flips it out. Murr for three. Still no good. Tommy Murr continues to be unsuccessful from beyond the arc. Now 0 of 5. Lane. Deep three. Tipped around. Appeals for a foul are not given. Trey Lane goes to the ground. The whistle was blown. Waiting to see who this was on. It's a foul on Lane. It was right in front of us. He was appealing. He got hit in the face by Tommy Murr. He won't get that. Burnett will inbound it. Here's Murr. Taking it to his left. Tommy Murr feeds it inside. Saylor goes by two men and then jams it.
He looked a little surprised to get that pass right into his chest.
Blunt on the other side. Misses his first three of the day.
Every once in a while, a guy, you get hit with such a good pass, it catches you off guard. You're like, there's no way he could have hit me.
Tommy Murr finally drains a triple. He'd been waiting. He'd been patient, and he finally got it. It's a loose ball. Bounced in the middle. Nimmers does well with Saylor against him. And Marion Nimmers also just 6'3" to the very long and tall Daniel Saylor. Still a comfortable lead for the Chargers. Murr. Back up to Thurman. Long three. Off the nose. Lane on the other end of the floor. Dashing inside. Nice dump. And Saylor not letting Froby get by him. But he stepped out of bounds. Gives the ball back to Tampa. Brian Williams surveying his options. Connects with Nimmers. Corner three. No good. Ball tipped around. Ripped away by Leslie. Murr will go all the way himself. Couldn't finish it, but Leslie is there. 20-point lead for the Chargers. Williams, nice bounce pass inside. Nimmers amongst the trees, gets a bucket and one. Amarion Nimmers going to the free throw line. Had some good buckets underneath the rim here. That's a fourth foul on Matt Thurman. So he'll go to the bench. 14 points for Thurman. Was a key contributor to their shots beyond the arc in the first half. Perhaps now he can pass that torch on to his fellow teammates. The and one no good, but offensive board for the Spartans. Leto checks it out to Williams. Williams to the right-hand side, the left. Blunt's three's no good. Rebound by Nimmers. Can't get it to go. Still loose. Blunt dishes it to Leto. Back up top. Froby for three. Still no good. And a foul underneath the rim. A lot of stunned faces on that Tampa bench. A fourth foul on Tyson Leto, which is bad news with 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, but we've seen this a few times this season. We mainly watch the Sunshine State Conference, but some of these coaches just have more faith in their guys to stick with 4 fouls. Leto has to play. There's no chance. There's no thought about it. You've got to play your best guy right now. Rest of the game, he fouls out, he fouls out.
Campbell puts it up, misses the shot. Leslie with the board, but then he loses the basketball. Williams on the other end. He's fouled as he goes up. He's got 2 free throws incoming. That'll be on on Graham Martin. First foul for Martin, and Williams with 7 points will go to the charity stripe. 5 of his 7 points have come from free throws. From West Palm Beach. It's his 4th year with Tampa, 3rd playing. And liberal studies major. I was going to remember student athletes here. 1 of 2 there. It's a 15-point lead for Alabama Huntsville. Campbell checks it to his left for Burnett. 15 on the shot clock. Luke Burnett drives in from the right block. No good, but Saylor puts it down.
Hey, that's a pretty effective way to get a double-double right there. Just rip one off the glass and power it through yourself.
Daniel Saylor, 11 points, now 11 rebounds. Martin hits the brakes, back to Saylor, and contact there. And we're going to hit the under 12 timeout, 68-51. Foul called on Caden Froby. NCAA Division II is the only division to conduct community engagement activities at all championship final sites. Since 2003, Division II has been a national partner of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, granting over 785 wishes to Make-A-Wish families. Division II also has a partnership with Team Impact since 2011. Over 670 children with serious or chronic illnesses have been matched with a Division II team. To learn more about Division II community engagement, visit ncaa.org/D2. Alabama Huntsville being led by the efforts of Tommy Murr and Blake Campbell, who also coincidentally received All-South Region honors earlier this week. Murr on the first team All-South Region. Blake Campbell on the All-Second team. And they're looking to pull this one away from Tampa. 11:54 to go. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here. But Brian Williams with a steal there. And a quick score on the other end. He's into double figures. Brian Williams with now 4 steals in this game. And I think just about every single one of them he has acquired while his feet were not on the ground. Campbell, he's got free throws incoming. Caden Froby with a consecutive foul. He's at 3 now. So Blake Campbell currently has 20 points. And this is a player who's also gotten that 20 rather efficiently. 8 of 10 from the field. He's the carryover from Barry, not to be confused with Barry in the Sunshine State Conference, but at the Division III level, Barry with an E. He came over with Mick Hedgepeth, and boy, has he been quite the piece to this Chargers team, not only this season, but today. That's a clean 3 from Luke Burnett.
He needed one, and he got it. Big time to just build up some confidence.
Burnett then gets it stolen away. Trey Lane goes up against Saylor and scores. 13 points for Lane in this one, which means he surpasses his season average.
I've been a little surprised in this game because we know how good Alabama Huntsville is, but the 15 turnovers, it hasn't really felt like they've been forced to turn the ball over that many times, but Tampa's just been really good, causing some havoc. It hasn't amounted to much, but a usually very sure-handed and capable group in Alabama Huntsville has turned the ball over, and that's a bad sign as you get into this South Region tournament. If you start being careless with the basketball, there are a lot of teams in this region that will just run away from you.
Williams, no good from 3. Yeah, they average 10 turnovers per game, as you mentioned, at 15 right now. Murr. He'll hit the brakes to take the 3, and why not? He found his spot. 19 points for Tommy Murr.
And now he starts to get going from 3 as well. That should feel more like some carryover of confidence into a potential future game, but this Huntsville squad is starting to light it up from deep now. They're shooting 43.5% from beyond the arc, 58% in total in the game.
Timeout called here by the Spartans. Just trying to keep this one alive. 76-58 your scoreline. Trey Lane hitting a big 3 in response to Tommy Murr. It is an 18-point basketball game right now. About halfway through the second half here. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on NCAA.com. Halftime between the 1 seed Columbus State and the 8 seed Carson Newman. 32-31, the 1 seed leads. So an update there on that one. Winner of this game plays Florida Southern tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then the winner of that game will play the other side of the South Region bracket with Nova Southeastern, Savannah State, Valdosta State, and Lynn. So with 10:05 to go. Tampa have 2 timeouts left to go. We're going to see if they can conjure up something here to garner some inspiration. Murr receives the inbound from Harding. He'll go to his left, cross the 10-second line. Finds Harding. Checks it right back. 15 on the shot clock. Murr. Between the rings. Now drives inside. Over to the right-hand side in the corner. Campbell's bumped. No foul, but it does go off of Williams. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Campbell in the corner will have to inbound it. Floats it up for Saylor, gives it right back. Campbell steps inside, bounce feed inside, back out top. And that's the third time today that this Alabama Huntsville side have a shot clock violation, and all three of them have somehow ended in the hands of Tommy Murr, none of which really his fault, but he is the last one to touch it on every occasion. They're just getting it into his hands a second too late. Lane, another three. That one nearly went in. Leto got the board, and then it goes out of bounds. They'll stay Tampa basketball. Leto from the point. Steps inside. The jumper is up, and it's good. 9 points for Tyson Leto.
I think the decision from Saylor defensively with Leto has just been like, prove to me you can hit it. Right? He hasn't closed out on him a single time from distance, whether it was the pair of three-pointers that Leto attempted and missed, or now the mid-range jumper. It's like, you show me you can hit it, then I'll close out on you, but until you do.
So Brian Williams will get his second foul. Worth noting, Huntsville in the bonus, so it'll be a 1-and-1 here for Murr. Colliding with Brian Williams. 8:56 to go in this game. 16-point lead. Tommy Murr has the opportunity to break 20 points here. And he does just that.
It's certainly been frustrating for Tampa because it just seems like whatever they've tried hasn't worked. It hasn't been their typical shooting performance. They've struggled to get going defensively as well, and they've normally been stout inside.
Williams bouncing it in the middle, and Saylor gets his hands on that one. Worth noting for Tommy Murr, it's his 10th straight game in double figures, all of which have been 20-plus performances. And he's also hit his season average of 21 points per game. Saylor claims the pass from Murr, and he does well traversing underneath the rim.
Now it's time for Saylor to just pile it up.
20-point lead, yep.
Unreal today. Yeah, I mean, the 20-point lead, and he's been a big part of it because he just has shut down the middle.
Someone else has had a good game. Trey Lane knocking down that shot. Been a bright spot in this one for Tampa. Campbell is fouled. It'll be another 1-and-1 opportunity. And it's on Williams. That's the third.
That's a pure frustration foul on Williams. He's had a tough ball game. He's 2 for 10 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3, and the 4 turnovers to go along with it. He's just been frustrated. It's been a very tough ball game for his side and for him specifically, and he just got carried away, commits a foul, and he'll take a seat and see if he can come back into this ball game and close it out.
Leto against Saylor with a spin. Too much on it, but Froby backs him up. Timeout called by Tampa as we hit the under 8. Did you know that Division II offers 25 championships and is the only NCAA division that conducts national championship festivals, an Olympic-style event in which championships are held at a single site for over several days? To learn more about Division II championships, including the D2 festivals, visit ncaa.com/D2. Also, did you know that Division II has over 120,000 student athletes competing at 293 active member institutions? How about Division II student-athlete graduation rate being consistently higher than that of the total student body? Learn more about Division II at ncaa.org/D2.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Tampa trailing big here. Still a successful season for the Spartans. It's their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2014. Now here's a fun fact for you, Josh. Their last appearance was in 2014. It was in Lakeland. They lost to North Alabama in the opening round. Coincidentally, as I mentioned, that regional was in Lakeland, so Florida Southern was hosting. The head coach of that Florida Southern team was Link Darner, who is now, of course, the head coach of Tampa. The very next season, Link Darner and the Mocs would go on a tournament run to win the national championship. So there's a little bit of fun Division II South Region history for you here. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you on the streaming service for NCAA.com. You're tuned in here. You're either a fan of one of these two teams, maybe another fan of one of the South Region squads. Maybe you're a Florida Southern fan who's trying to figure out what your opponent will be made of tomorrow. Or you're one of those Division II basketball nuts who just love the sport and know that this region in particular is going to be must-watch television today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Whatever your background or reason for tuning in is, we welcome you in. We hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Under 8 minutes to go here. Alabama Huntsville up comfortably right now. Martin chucks it up the floor, and it's an errant pass. A little too much pressure there for the redshirt junior.
You know, Mark, we've talked about this a couple of years now. We talked about it in game one today. But there is something to the minute totals for these guys, and you know, with the lead as comfortable as it is at the moment, Tampa can go on a run, and some of these guys who maybe have mentally checked out, the starters for Alabama Huntsville, could lapse. Give Tampa a chance to get back into this ball game if they get thrust back in.
Right now, they're still sitting in there for the most part. You still got Murr, Saylor, Campbell, Burnett, all starters, along with Thurman, who always gets significant minutes every game. I don't have to force anything here, though. Although there's still 7 minutes left, you can start playing adjacent with the clock. Saylor puts it away. Right now, you're not in any hurry to get buckets, that's for certain. Leto, another jumper, off the glass and in. He's into double figures. Needs one more board and he'll have a double-double, which is not uncommon for Tyson Leto. Has 16 this year. A foul's called on Ian Higdon, and that's going to be a 10th foul for Tampa. So here's another interesting thing to mention about these two teams. Well, at least for Alabama Huntsville in particular. They've got 12 fouls in this one so far, the Chargers. They're one of the best teams in the nation as far as fouls committed, 12.4 per game, so they actually hit that average here. So they'll probably go over it in this game. But that's the second least in the nation in fouls committed. So this is a side that usually keeps it pretty tidy.
Yeah, they're an incredibly disciplined group. I mean, you also look at the turnovers. It's just about, 10 a game, a little over 10 a game. So they don't turn the ball over. They don't foul. They shoot at one of the best clips in the country. They're one of the best in the nation from deep. They block shots. They rebound. And they just throw bodies at you defensively to just frustrate you. And schematically, they're as sound as they could possibly be. We're going to review something here.
So there's been some confusion. I believe the foul was given to Austin Leslie. But some arguing from Link Darner to the officiating crew. So we're going to wait and see exactly what it is they're reviewing here. 6:30 to go in this one. 18-point lead for the Chargers. So we're looking at it now. So Leslie seems to push Lane out of the way. So they're going to give, okay, I see what happened. It was who was going to take the free throws. That was the question. So Trey Lane will go to the free throw line because he's the one who got shoved by Leslie, even though he wasn't the one on the ball. So just wanted to get their reliable free throw shooter up there, 85% of the season. He also has 19 points now. Back-to-back games, he's done that. He can make it 20 with this one. Clean.
Appalling that that's his first trip to the free throw line in this game with the amount of times that he's driven, and seems like he's taken some bumps along the way as well. And trip one.
Yeah, when you get to 20 points and only 2 of those points are from free throws, you've had yourself quite the productive day. Murr picks up the stab. Still Murr bouncing it inside. Chucked over. Thurman to the corner for Burnett. No good off the back iron. Lane up top to Williams. Williams along the right lane scores.
Time for Tampa's bucket getters to start getting cooking again. It's no doubt about it. They can roll. I mean, if they can get a couple of stops, they don't have to be perfect from the field, but if they can shut down Huntsville for at least 2 of the next 3 minutes, they might turn this into a ball game pretty quickly.
14-point deficit for Tampa. Murr prodding inside. Still Murr. Just chucks up a shot, and there's one stop. But they give it away carelessly. Leslie jams it down. Got some spring underneath him. So you got a bit of an ambitious bucket attempt from Murr, which you're going to take if you're Tampa, and then you give it away carelessly right afterwards. Williams is fouled.
And that's not a bad way to get back into this game either. They just own the free throw line for a minute, but
so Brian Williams, his team in the bonus, 1-1. He's got 13 points now, Williams. It's the first foul today on Harding. And that one switches through. Campbell. Lost his control. He's able to maintain balance, though, to keep from traveling. Murr does nicely there. Murr again. Blocked there by Blunt. Williams. Nice feed. And Nimmers couldn't put it away, but second time is the ticket.
This is how Tampa starts to build up some momentum here.
Lane, what an effort there. Blunt puts it up the glass and in.
This feels like timeout territory right now for Coach Hedgepeth.
10-point ball game. Tampa with a 6-0 run over the last 40 seconds. Nick Hedgepeth trying to cool things down here as the Spartans are trying to storm back into this game. So, 86-76 your scoreline. Division II student athletes have the opportunity to make their college experience unique based on their individual passions, interests, and the division's life and the balanced philosophy. Institutions encourage their student athletes to get involved in activities and experiences outside their sport and engage in areas that will help them succeed in their career and in life after college. Make it yours in Division II. Visit ncaa.org/D2 to learn more. So, 4:32 to go. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on NCAA.com. A game that has been very comfortably in favor of Alabama Huntsville. Maybe starting to hang in the balance a little bit here. Campbell has to check it in somewhere. Finds Saylor. 4:30 to go. 10-point ball game. Murr being guarded by Lane. Rolling to his right. With a turn, Murr. Nice bounce pass inside, and Campbell gets 2 and 1. Blake Campbell with a response for the Chargers here. They had gone cold. Brian Williams with his 4th foul. And that one knocked through.
Yeah, that last possession, just a really bad time to get caught switching through a screen, and Tampa ends up giving a good bucket, and then they get caught from behind and foul.
Saylor knocks that ball out of play, blocking that effort.
It's a 3rd block for Saylor. He's got all 3 of Alabama Huntsville's rejections.
Lane, another 3. Nearly went through. That was a tough shot. Murr taking it down the floor. Took a bump. Now we'll have a couple of tight dribbles. 13-point lead for the Chargers. And he loses the basketball. Blunt hits the brakes. Can't get the finish. That was another opportunity for something to spark there for Tampa.
Smart by the Chargers here. Things have gotten a little out of control for both sides now. Got a little cool shooting the basketball, so just knock some time off the clock here. Put the pressure on Tampa.
Campbell couldn't get it to fall. Lane hands it off to Williams. Zips it inside for Leto. Tyson Leto hooks up the shot, too strong. Under 3 minutes to go. The Chargers with a 13-point advantage. And like you said, I'll try to run out some of this clock. Campbell couldn't keep it in play. And he's going to smother one of his teammates as we hit our final media timeout. We'll step aside briefly. We'll be back for the final 2:44 here.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
2:44 to go. Alabama Huntsville have led for nearly 31 minutes in this game. They're looking for their 31st win of the season, but more importantly, their first tournament win of this 2025 season. Tampa hanging on here. They've been down by as much as 21 points. It's a 13-point ball game right now. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here. Trey Lane floats this one up for Leto. Now it's over to Williams. Leto pitches it back. Williams now cuts inside. He gets a bucket.
Still time for Tampa, but you got to go quick. You cannot afford to keep digging in 15 seconds off the clock.
It's a 5-second violation.
Huge. These are momentum plays for the Spartans right now that can ignite this group. It brings the energy back. That bench was like a ghost town for a good chunk of this ball game, and now all of a sudden they're back into it. They're chanting. They're being involved in this game as they can.
Lane cutting inside, gets it off the glass and in. It's a 9-point ball game. Inbound claimed by Campbell. Single digits here at the Rick Case Arena. Guarded by Lane, who's had himself one heck of a game. 22 points, and he's guarding Campbell, who's got 25 points. Campbell wipes out. He's fouled by Lane. Got pulled down. Third foul by Lane. He was looking for that steal. He's got 5 of them in this game, by the way, Trey Lane. 5 assists, 22 points. I need to make sure that everything's nice and cleaned up here. Campbell will go to the free throw line where he shoots 74%. First cleanup crew got to tidy things up here. Had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 0 turnovers in that GSC final against Valdosta. Has 25 points in this one. And then he can tack on 5 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal. He does have 3 turnovers in this one. But as you mentioned earlier, Josh, been a little bit more careless a game from Alabama Huntsville. Some barking and yelling from the crowd here. Looked like it might have been a lane violation.
Yeah, it definitely should have been. And I think it's one of those situations where the referees just weren't paying attention to what was happening at the free throw line.
Leto steps out of bounds. 90 seconds to go, 90-80 your scoreline.
Listen, earlier today, it was Montevallo that made it very interesting last 90 seconds. And like Coach Kamara said in the postgame, you get a shot with the ball in the air to tie or win a ball game in March, you'll take your chances. Tampa's got a lot of time left to play with, but it starts with a stop right here. It's got to come right now.
Murr against Lane. 2 of the highlight players in this game. Trey Lane has really made a name for himself. Just a sophomore, by the way. Some good basketball in his future. Murr zips it to the left-hand side. Harding for 3. Won't fall through. Is a window opening for Tampa. Williams back for Lane for 3. No good. Under a minute to go. That may have been the shot they needed to hit. And Williams will foul out. Brian Williams will see his afternoon come to an end. 16 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist, along with a block and 4 steals. Part of the reason why Tampa's been able to hang around in this one. But it's over for Williams in this one. Froby checks back in. First one's good for Campbell. He's got 27 points. He's got 8 straight games in double figures, 3 of which are straight 20-plus point performances. Both are good. Leto from the point. It's good for 3.
Better late than never for Leto to find the mark. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to spark something for a team like Tampa, but it might just be too much to overcome. Credit to them for fighting back. This was a 21-point deficit, and they've cut it to single digits more than a few times in this second half. So big news for their side is that they've shown that resolve. There's time left to get some shots up, so if they can keep battling, it can't be a stop now. It's got to be pretty much a forced turnover. You can't afford to let Huntsville have any type of offensive real possession here. You've got to either steal that ball quick or foul as soon as possible.
Worth noting, Huntsville have been shooting 84% from the free throw line today. They shoot 75.5% on the season. So pretty good free throw shooting side, and have been even better than their season average here today. Part of the reason why Montevallo was able to come back in that last game was because some reliable free throw shooters were missing them, though. So there's a couple of misses on the front end. Now, it's a little bit harder for Tampa because they're Alabama Huntsville actually is in the double bonus. So it's not just a 1-and-1. 9-point ball game. Murr receives the inbound. Gets it away to Campbell. A lot of time coming off the clock here. And Harding is fouled. So Dane Harding, who shoots 71%. And ultimately, if you're Tampa, that's better than Campbell, who's 74%, and a lot better than Tommy Murr, of course, who's at 94%. Dane Harding just 0 of 1 from the field today. And he misses one. So although you lost about, 10 seconds there, you do get someone who shoots only 71% from the free throw line. The second one is good. 10-point ball game. Lane across to Blunt for 3. It's good. Tampa doesn't have any more timeouts, but a timeout is called by Huntsville. Or at least no, substitutions, excuse me. Seven-point game. Campbell feeds Murr. And a timeout was called by Huntsville before the inbound. It's a 7-point game with only 35 seconds to go, but you really don't want to mess this up if you're Huntsville, so they're going to be careful here.
Yeah, right there. I mean, you cannot afford for another 5-second call. You can't turn that ball over off the inbound because more than likely Tampa's going to have a pretty good look off of that opportunity, whether it's a baseline inbound or a turnover forced. So for the Chargers here, good time to group up. Probably want to talk about, whether you want to go long here or keep it short, but make sure you get it to Murr so that if Tampa does foul, you get to the free throw line with your best option. We're also going to talk about this, Mark, and we always highlight it because it is a factor in March, especially with the back-to-back, and not many teams have experience with the back-to-back. Tommy Murr's played 35 minutes in this game. That's a lot of minutes to have a guy who, 1, is your primary ball handler, 2, is one of your better scorers, and then tomorrow he's going to have a date with the Moccasins potentially, who run a extremely high-tempo offense and are going to put a lot of pressure on him as well.
So another foul here. That'll be Amarian Nimmers, which is third foul. And it's Dane Harding going back to the line. 33 seconds to go. He's good on the first. A bevy of substitutions. Winner of this game, as you mentioned, plays Florida Southern tomorrow. They were able to survive a late game spurt against Montevallo. Harding is good on both of them here. Lane receives the inbound. Crosses that timeline. Checks it over. Blunt. Step back. So Leto, he'll take the three. Air ball. 9-point ball game. 23 seconds to go. And now 3 changes for Tampa as they go into defensive mode. Same can be said for Huntsville going back on the attack with their personnel changes. Murrah receives the inbound. You definitely don't want to foul him, but they're going to have to. Time is of the essence. That'll be a 4th foul on Higdon. So it's looking like this Huntsville team had the lead for almost the entirety of this one. Gets a little nervier at the end, but they're going to most likely see this one through, barring something really wild here, Josh. And so when it comes to March Madness, it's just surviving and advancing. It's not about how pretty it looks. It's just about if you get it done.
Yeah, postseason time, there are no style points, right? It's just you win or you don't at this stage of the season. So it doesn't really matter how it happens. It's just, like you said, surviving and advancing. So you don't get any extra advantage other than maybe rest for blowing a team out. But I think there's a lot to like for Tampa's side. But it's just the hottest team in basketball,
right,
doing what they've done all season long. I mean, there's no doubt that Alabama Huntsville is one of the best teams in the country. If they're anywhere else, they're probably playing 3 home games. But they happen to be in the same region as the number 2 team in the country.
Campbell receives the inbound, and he's fouled. And with 13 seconds to go, it's mainly just pageantry here. But a good season for Tampa. Again, sneaking into the postseason last bit here, so big congratulations to them for the year they've had. And then putting up a valiant effort here against Alabama Huntsville. So I think they can, in hindsight, be happy with how this season turned out. Meanwhile, the Chargers, of course, they've got some pretty big aspirations for where they want to go this year. You mentioned it. Hottest team in the nation, ranked 3rd in the country. I mean, they haven't lost since November.
It's insane to think, like, you can win 30 consecutive ball games. You're 30-1, and it's not good enough to be a top 2 team in the country because Damon refuses to lose, and the only team that you've lost to is also 30-1.
3 ball, no good for Johnson. It goes out of bounds. So that should pretty much do it here. Alabama Huntsville going to move on to the second round of the D2 tournament. 99-88 your final scoreline. The Chargers are able to outlast the Spartans here. With that, that's the end of our second broadcast of the day. Coming up next, Nova Southeastern plays Savannah State. You mentioned it, Josh. The one team Huntsville's lost to. They're up next. So if you're a Chargers fan, maybe you'll stick around and tune into who you could be meeting with in the final. Of course, they still have to worry about Florida Southern tomorrow. But for our broadcasting crew, for Cynthia Fonseca, Josh Leatherman, we appreciate you watching. Your final score, Alabama Huntsville 99, Tampa 88.